In the frigid far north of Canada, where Arctic winds howl and the sun seldom rises, lies a place so cold, isolated, and eerily bizarre, it might as well be on another planet. This place is Resolute, a tiny village on the island of Cornwallis. With a minuscule population of fewer than 200 people, it is one of the northernmost settlements on the planet. The temperatures here are not cold, they are murderous. The average high temperature in January is 25 degrees Fahrenheit below zero. Hi, this is Colin from the History Pilgrim. Today we are visiting the coldest inhabited place on Earth. Wind chills often plummet to minus 60 degrees Fahrenheit, which is so cold car engines fail to start, condensation from your breath turns to ice in seconds, and any exposed skin becomes frostbitten within minutes. Because the soil is permanent permafrost, no trees or any vegetation grow in Resolute. This is not a climate which was ever meant for human habitation. The sheer isolation of Resolute is perhaps even stranger. There are no roads in or out. You can only get to Resolute via airplane. Oftentimes the plane rides, which can cost thousands of dollars per person, are cancelled due to extreme weather. This makes Resolute just as, if not more, isolating to live in than the South Pole. Despite all the odds, this settlement exists. One might wonder why this town exists at all. It's not a question with a simple answer because Resolute did not emerge like most settlements do. It is not a place where agriculture occurs naturally, it is not near any trade routes or water sources, and it is certainly not a place which exists for its convenience. Resolute only exists for the same reason man walked on the moon, because someone with chilling determination against all odds said that it must. Located high in the Canadian Arctic archipelago on Cornwallis Island, Resolute's very existence is rooted in sovereignty. After World War II, the Canadian government grew increasingly anxious about asserting its control over its northernmost territories. The Cold War was beginning to crackle in the air like frost, and there was a growing concern that the US or other powers might begin to treat the Arctic as an international zone rather than Canadian soil. There was only one situation to fix this: start to settle this region. The Canadian government forcibly relocated Inuit people to this settlement in the high Arctic. The native people are falsely promised better housing, ample game for hunting, and an opportunity to return if they wished. What they received was something far more harrowing. Unrelenting cold, starvation-level conditions, and a landscape so brutally barren it might as well have been on another planet. There were no seals to hunt and no way home. Many families were told they couldn't leave at all. The Canadian government did not formally apologize until 2010. Over time, Resolute grew into a hub for Arctic research, sovereignty, and military presence. It became a living outpost of Canadian civilization into the high Arctic. Living in Resolute is no easy task. This is a town where there are no restaurants, movie theaters, or large stores. Because everything in this tiny grocery store must be flown in, a bag of grapes can cost as high as $20. Perhaps the weirdest thing about Resolute is the lack of sunlight in the depths of winter, when darkness swallows the town for 65 straight days. When summer arrives, it is light for 24 straight hours, which can confuse visitors. Because there is as much sunlight at 2 a.m. as at 2 p.m. here in the summer, there are people who do their daily routines in the middle of the night and sleep during the day. For most people, cold means a chilly breeze or a snowstorm. In Resolute, cold means total domination. It is a constant presence which shapes every factor of daily life. Because it gets so extremely cold in Resolute, houses must be built to retain as much heat as possible, and the insulation is designed to be as strong as possible. It is not uncommon for houses to have triple layers of insulation, oil-fired furnaces to keep the buildings as warm as possible, and systems which are fueled by large tanks of oil delivered by barge or flown in the summertime. Although Resolute is extremely remote, many are drawn here for jobs such as healthcare, education, and research, which demand them to be here and offer high wages. Furthermore, the town offers an ideal base for those involved in Arctic research. What makes it so inhospitable for some make Resolute the perfect place on Earth to live for many. Resolute is also home to Polar Continental Shelf, a federal base that provides logistics and support for Arctic research. As ice-free summers become more common and the Arctic's role in global climate systems grows clearer, data from Resolute will become increasingly important. In Resolute, ice is not just a backdrop to daily life, it is the very substance from which existence is carved. This frozen force shapes both the dangers and possibilities of daily life more than any other force in the community. For much of the year, thick sea ice surrounds Resolute. This means that ships from the rest of the world can only reach this extremely remote settlement during a few weeks in the summer when the ice thaws just enough. The timing of the breakups can disrupt when food, medicine, and fuel arrive. As a result, citizens of Resolute must stock up on supplies ahead of time, which can last through the long months when the sea is frozen over. For Inuit hunters, the frozen ice is both a highway and a hunting ground. Many cross its surface to hunt for seals, polar bears, and other animals essential for warmth and food. However, the ice can crack without warning and kill hunters. The knowledge to respect and understand the ice is extremely important for everyone living in Resolute. Summer in Resolute means midnight sun, where the sun doesn't set for weeks. But it does not mean warmth. Temperatures may barely reach above freezing temperatures during the day. Families take to the land during this brief window. Camping trips, fishing trips, and ATV excursions happen across the tundra. Kids play late into the night even though it is as bright as noon. It is during these short weeks that people reconnect with nature, gather on the land, and make the most out of the short, shining season. In Resolute, freezing cold weather shapes and dictates human life, more than any other community on the planet. The town settlement on the edge of the high Arctic has given Resolute far more importance than just a point on the map. It is a living testament to humanity's stubborn willingness to settle anywhere on the planet, even where nature conspires against it. In conclusion, Resolute Canada stands as a stark, resilient outpost at the edge of the world, one that embodies both the isolation and endurance of life in the high Arctic. As one of the northernmost communities on the planet, it is not just a geographic point on the map, but a testament to human adaptability and cultural survival. I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to stay tuned for more history videos. Sincerely, the History Pilgrim.